I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey,
Bum,
it's the
bum, 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 bum.
Oscars.
Woo!
92nd, 2020.
Parasite, parasite, parasite.
Hey. Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to the AfterBuzz TV after show for the 2020 92nd Annual Academy Awards.
Yes!
Ooh, child, that was a mouthful.
It was.
It's a lot.
Why, thank you. I am your host, Carla Renata, and sitting next to me is...
Ryan Nilsson, senior producer of Popcorn Talk. So excited to talk about the Oscars. It's my favorite day of the year.
And...
Yes, I am Simone Thomas, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys to talk about all of the historic moments that were made tonight.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to say who I was. I introduced everybody else and forgot to talk about me. So I am the Curvy Critic, a.k.a. the Curvy Critic. I have a show at Black Hollywood Live called The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. We do it every Sunday right here at Black Hollywood Live in the same studios where AfterBuzz TV is. But aside from all of that, y'all, the Academy Awards just ended. We just watched it all together.
And Coy, by the way, we have a fourth co-host.
Yes,
Coy Jandrew is on his way. He's stuck in deep traffic. I think he watched the ceremony at an ArcLight theater. So he'll be joining us. But
he's in Hollywood. Oh, that's going to be a hot mess.
I don't know if it was in Hollywood. It may have been the one in Sherman Oaks, but he's on his way.
Okay. So when Coy gets here, we will reintroduce him at that time. But until Coy gets here, Ryan and Simone... Oh my God.
Oh.
How excited are we about Parasite and Therefore Wins with Bong Joon-ho?
That deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
They did it right, people.
Yes.
They did it right this year. You know,
Yes.
everyone's always like, does the Academy actually award the best movie, or is it just the most popular movie? You know, in some years, I agree. In some years, it's just a popularity contest. I think they did it right this year. It made history. This was a historic night for the Academy. I'm just so excited and happy. Our studio outside all freaked out when Parasite was announced. You could hear the cheers. This is really an amazing turnout.
Yeah, they certainly did make history. This is the first time in Academy Award history that a film from South Korea has won these major awards. And it's the first time a South Korean director has won, or anyone actually from another country has won a best picture, best director. Like, it's just
First foreign language,
yes. Like, it's bananas. But Bong Joon-ho, it should be noted that he does a variety of different films. He does horror films. He does some little off-kilter films. He did a film and when I say off-kilter, he did a film a little while ago called Snowpiercer. Which Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer was in that film right after she won her Oscar for The Help. So he does films that are all over the place. But for those people that have not seen Parasite is a film that deals with societal norms in regards to class in regards to class. So you got the upper class people, the ones that have money, that ain't nothing but a chicken wing with them, and you have the people that are struggling to get just a phone signal in the bathroom.
Right.
You know,
Right.
The film is an amazing film on all levels. It's cinematically beautiful. The script is great. The subtitles didn't bother me, although there was drama about... So let me ask y'all this. How do y'all feel about the whole subtitle situation? There was an article that was in the New York Post. There was another article that surfaced this week where there was some anonymous Academy members that expressed in major publications that they couldn't be bothered to watch films like The Farewell or Parasite because of the subtitles.
Well, so as someone who I love like telenovelas, and I do speak Spanish, but not fluently enough to just listen to it in Spanish, I watch things with subtitles all the time. And my mom, who doesn't even speak Spanish, will watch Spanish-speaking shows with subtitles. So as long as you can read, you can watch a movie. So I just think that's completely bizarre. And if something is done well and written well and shot well, you should give it the same respect as something that is in English. And I just think that's just disrespectful overall.
Yeah, I think Bong Joon-ho and his interpreter put it best when they won the Foreign Film Award at the Golden Globes. They said if you just get over that 1-inch barrier of subtitles, you'd be open to a whole new world of cinema. You know, I don't really fault people who don't love films with subtitles. I just think, hey, it's for some people, it's not for others. But this is the movie. This is the subtitle movie that people who don't like subtitles have to go see because it's just that good.
Absolutely.
You really need to go check it out.
This is the problem that I had with it. If you are an Academy member,
right,
and they're sending you screeners or giving you locations to go out and vote, then part of your responsibility as an Academy member is to watch the nominated films so that you can inform your vote properly. If you are purposefully not watching the films because they have subtitles, then you don't need to be an Academy member. Like, let somebody else be an Academy member that's gonna watch the film.
I mean, to me, that's racist. Like, I don't get it. Like,
no, it's not racist. It's just lazy.
Yeah, it's both. I totally
honestly.
agree. I think it's both. Yeah.
I that's just not fair. And also, like, the Asian community just has not been represented in Hollywood. And I think with Crazy Rich Asians 2 years ago, and then Awkwafina being the first performer of Asian descent to win a Golden Globe, that's historic. And so to see Parasite win, like, I'm happy that their community is getting more recognition because they're just as talented. They just don't get those opportunities. So for an Academy member not refusing to not even give them that like time is just, it's rude.
And that, I mean, that's one thing that we were talking about this while watching. You know, a lot of these categories, I feel like they're predictable by the time we get to the Oscars. A lot of the performances, you know, who's getting the best actor, lead actress, all that. But with Best Picture this year, it was kind of up in the air. Like, you didn't know, was it going to be 1917, was it going to be Parasite? It wasn't too clear from all the other award shows. And I just also think, you know, a foreign language film has never won Best Picture. So it was still kind of like, oh, what's going to happen here? Right. And the fact that it won is huge. And now more people than ever are going to go check out Parasite. And that is the true win tonight. And
you know what was funny? We had the same conversation last year when it came to Roma. When Roma was up, we had the same conversation about that film. So, you know, hopefully with films like Roma and Parasite, that door or that portal has now been open and people can step through it with confidence as opposed to tiptoeing around the subject matter or the film for that matter.
Great point.
You know, what would you say? Oh, and to be very clear, y'all, this is what Parasite won. They won Best Director, Best International Picture, which was changed from Best Foreign Film. Now it's Best International Picture.
Yeah.
They won Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay. So having said that, what would you say were some of the most memorable moments for y'all this evening? I know one of my favorite memorable moments was Cynthia Erivo singing "Stand Up" from Harriet with the I don't know if it was caramel colored or beige or whatever it was
nude.
Behind her, nude colored choir behind her, kind of like moving like water or air behind her as she was singing this song that she co-wrote. That was a highlight for me. I really enjoyed that.
Really emotional.
Big time. I was also disappointed when it didn't win Best Song because clearly that was the most well-performed song at the Oscars this year. I mean, for these memorable moments, I mean, same thing with Parasite. That Best Picture win, just a huge thing. That is all anyone's gonna be talking about. And I also think Bong Joon-ho for director. You know, I think a lot of people thought Sam Mendes was gonna walk away with Best Director for 1917. I mean, it's such a technical achievement. There's these huge triumphs on all sides for all those nominated. But Bong Joon-ho pulling away with that, and him just honoring the other directors, like shouting out Martin Scorsese, shouting out Quentin Tarantino for praising his films early on. I thought that was so classy and awesome of him, and he's now going to be a name that most film goers are familiar with.
Yep, because I sure was messing up his name at the beginning of the season. I was calling him Boon Jong-ho. I just butchered that poor man's name. But as the season went on and I began to see him more often, then I got the gist of the name.
Correct.
What about you, Simone?
I loved the beginning. Janelle Monáe's performance was awesome. Like, she's very talented, a great performer, and her singing, like her vocals are
bananas.
Strong. And I like that they infused costumes from different films, like Queen and Slim, even though it wasn't nominated. Like, they had her character, and they had I
think they had Us in there,
Us,
Midsommar,
like so
Joker.
many. Yeah. So I like that they paid homage to those films.
But let's just talk about that Midsummer outfit. Why was she looking like
you
a potted
did not
plant?
Like that
I
at
did
all.
not.
You did not like that at all.
I was not having her looking like a potted plant. I'm not having it. But what I was completely down for 1,000% was her and Billy Porter singing together. Because Billy Porter is my dog. Y'all know that. That's my boy. The two of them singing together, because they both got those really wide reaching ranges. Ooh, that gave me life.
Epic.
Original song? Was that an original song?
I don't know.
I wasn't familiar with
I don't
it.
know.
That's why I
don't
was
know.
really into it.
Either.
But they
Awesome.
they did that.
And then I love that she interacted with the audience.
Audience.
Like Brad Pitt and then
But
Leo.
you know, they always do that with the opening songs.
Yeah.
Remember when oh god, the dude who wrote Happy.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the one who wrote Happy,
Pharrell.
When Pharrell wrote Happy and he was running in and out of the audience, for people that are nominated, it's the beginning of the show. There's no losers announced yet, you know.
Play along though. Like
you know-
Leonardo DiCaprio's like, no,
Yeah,
no,
he
no, no,
didn't
no,
wanna
no,
do
no.
it.
And then
I'm
Brie
like,
Larson's
dude.
game. Like
He was
oh,
too cool.
He was too
to
cool for
go
school.
along with it.
It's all good. It's all good.
It was a cool opening.
Any
Yeah.
other things come to mind, you guys, in terms of memorable moments or performances?
I think Kristen Wiig and Maya
Rudolph,
Rudolph
yeah.
were great. Like I love Bridesmaids. I think they're just a good duo, and their comedic timing and their chemistry works. And then like them acting and doing their different moments, hilarious. They're great.
Yeah, there were a lot of amazing presenters. The Cats presenting visual
Oh my
effects.
god, that totally was a memorable moment.
I did not think they would do that. I don't know how Universal. Do they need Universal's permission to do that? Because that was.
Yeah, they do.
Probably, yeah.
That was
because they
big.
had the costumes on, but that was
Yeah.
pure comedy.
Oh my
But I'm
gosh!
gonna
Hitting
need-
the mic.
Oh my god! If they hit that mic one more time, I was like, I knew the sound.
Yes.
I know the sound guy was like, I'm gonna need y'all to
Please
stop that.
it.
I mean, look, oh my god, we have a photo. Look at that. Like that's so funny.
That was bananas.
Just self-acknowledging it. Oh.
I like when people are willing to make fun of themselves. Like, you know, you acknowledge what everyone's been talking about, and you're like, you know what? I'm not gonna take myself too seriously. Like, let's also make fun of ourselves.
That was a great moment. That that definitely was a great moment. I laughed out loud when I saw that. I was like, oh no.
I think even Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, they had a fun
yeah.
comedic back and forth too.
They did.
They had some really awesome presenters this year.
Chris Rock and Steve Martin as well.
Yeah, did
Like,
a monologue.
yeah, that was surprising. And then I think another surprise for me was seeing Chrissy Metz singing. Like, I know that she sings.
Oh, she sang.
but-
She sang that song "Breakthrough."
Yeah,
it was written by Diane Warren.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't recognize her because her hair was so long, and I'm used to seeing her hair kind of like shoulder length. And I just normally don't see her sing all the time. So that was a good surprise and refreshing.
And killed it. She crushed
Yeah,
that. It was awesome.
You know what also was surprising for me personally is when Elton John won Best Song. It's been 25 years since he's won an Oscar. It's been 25
Wow.
years since he won the Oscar for Can You Feel the Love Tonight for The Lion King.
Yeah.
And this one was particularly special for him because he won the Oscar with his partner, Bernie Taupin. They've been
That's really
writing
sweet.
songs together for over 25 years. So this Elton John, when he won last time, I think they collaborated on that, but I think Elton was the one that took home the Oscar for that song. But this was something that they collaborated on together, and they were both nominated together.
It was a full circle moment.
It was a full circle moment.
really
for them.
beautiful.
What were some surprises that you were like, "Ooh, okay, that was interesting"?
I think the big surprise to me, we all freaked out when we were watching it.
Oh, right.
Was they're showing the cinematic montage of music and film, and then they're showing 8 Mile, and you're like, wow, they're really hanging on 8 Mile for a while. Like it's been like 20 seconds,
yeah.
and then Eminem rises from the ground and performs "Lose Yourself."
I know.
What?
That was definitely the surprise moment of the evening.
Wow.
No one saw that coming.
We didn't see it coming.
We
were
lost ourselves.
Because we were sitting there going, why are they hanging on this song? You're right. We were like, why are they hanging on this song for so long? And then we're like, oh, snap.
He's
and then,
there.
And then we were laughing because we were looking in the audience and everybody had that head bop.
Yep.
You know, that rap music head bop. Everybody. But the thing that was funny is if you really looked in the audience, there were a variety of variations on the head bop.
Yeah.
Like some people were bopping on the beat, some people were bopping on the offbeat, some people were struggling trying to figure what beat to bop on.
Billie Eilish, I don't even think was having it though. She was just
Really?
I
like,
thought she was rapping along. No,
thought she
oh,
was
I thought she was frozen. She was like, I'm not impressed. Which I was impressed. I think he still got it. I was into it.
definitely was
that
was,
song, it like does something to you. Like it
Yeah.
like gets your spirit
it just
up.
I don't
You're
even know
like,
what he's saying, but I'm just like
It woke us up. It was like a
Yes.
needed good old
Yes.
shot of adrenaline in the
Energizer.
middle of the show.
It
Totally.
was fantabulous. Fantabulous. Okay, so let's talk about some of the winners for the evening,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we talked about 1917. They took home a lot of technical awards.
Yeah, they ran out with 3 tonight, which I'm a little surprised by. I thought they were going to come away with 5 or 6, and they ended up only getting sound mixing, cinematography, and visual effects. I was surprised. Carla called the visual effects.
She was just really good at calling.
She was calling them all. I thought visual effects might have gone to like Avengers or something else, like maybe even The Irishman for using that new technology. But
oh my God, that was the worst technology ever. We'll talk about that some other time.
Not as bad as Cats, but
no,
but yeah, it was
Cats
really
had
great.
floating heads. That was a whole situation.
So it was more of like a technical triumph for that one, and I mean Parasite leading with 4. Which again, I don't think I would have even guessed it was 4.
I said this when we were watching. Because I'm a film critic and I belong to a plethora. Like I belong to so many different things. So I freelance for Variety as a writer. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes. I belong to the Hollywood Critics Association.
You had your 100th episode of the Curvy Critic today.
Critic, right?
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Exciting.
Yay! I belong to the Broadcast Film Critics Association, which is the voting entity for the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, cool.
I belong to the African American Film Critics Association. I belong to the Online Association of Female Film Critics. I belong to
Keep
the
going, yeah.
to the Alliance of Women International Journalists. Like I belong to all these organizations. So with each organization, they all have their individual voting tallies that they do, and most of them have their own individual awards. And so before I became a film critic, I used to always look to the Critics' Choice Awards as the gauge about how the voting season was going to go. And I would notice that whoever would win the Critics' Choice Award, 9 times out of 10 would go on to win the Oscar. It was like it's been a pattern.
Right.
And whoever would sweep the whole season, and when I say sweep, I mean sweeping Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, SAG, there's a couple of other ones. I can't remember what they are.
The big ones.
The big ones, And that was the other thing we were talking about, too, is that, back in the day, there were just a handful of award shows. There was the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys, the American Music Awards, the Tonys, and that was it. Like, there was maybe 5 or 6 award shows in a whole year. Now it seems like every time you turn on the TV set, it's a new one.
But that's a great thing you brought up. Like, do you feel a little burnt out by the time the Oscars roll around?
Of course you do. That's why go ahead.
This year, I feel like everything was so condensed between early January, it's not even mid-February yet, and award season is coming to a close.
But you know why? You know why that happened? Because they pushed up the deadline for the Oscars. So usually the Oscars are in March.
Right.
This time they were in February.
Yeah.
The first
February.
Early February. The first weekend of February, basically. So they pushed it up by a whole month. And so we ended up with a situation where we have 30 days less to prepare for the Oscars. We had 30 days less, so it's like, oh my God, what is happening? Everybody had to push up their deadlines. Everybody did. I mean, this week alone was bananas.
I'm sure.
Because usually, the Essence brunch is usually closer to the Oscars. The Golden Globes is a little further. The Spirit Awards is always the Saturday before. But this week we had all of the Essence stuff. We had the Spirit Awards stuff.
Yeah, just yesterday.
The Spirit Awards brunch happened right after the holiday season. It was bananas.
Wow.
It was crazy, but
Chaos.
we ended up with a shorter, more truncated season. But having said that, we now have in the house Coy Jandrew.
Coy Jandrew's here.
Welcome.
So excited.
And who's that sitting next to you?
Sheena Lee.
Hey,
I
Sheena Lee.
didn't know I was going to do this.
That's all right, girl.
But she dressed ready.
Well,
You
yeah.
did, girl.
Yeah.
You're ready for the Oscar
You are
party.
you
Oscar
are
ready.
Oscar
Is there
ready.
any other night in the year I'm going to wear this dress?
You are Oscar
Now,
ready.
yes. Now, yes. The mic right there, and then bring it up here.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's what I was
I
doing.
have
I was
no
doing
idea
like
Ryan's got
a.
secret hand signals about
Yeah.
God.
and Parasite.
Apparently they weren't too good. Coy,
Secret
where
hand
did you
signals.
watch the awards?
The ArcLight. We had the full big screen ArcLight Oscar situation.
Oh, wow.
Holy
It was
cow.
cool. They had a private bar for us and a bartender. It was cool.
Fun.
Nice.
So I got to see. It felt very watching it at ArcLight, which is one of my favorite theaters. But watching it, knowing it was down the street, while watching it on a big screen, just felt so Inception-y. I was really where I'm it's 2 streets away, but it's really big here. But I'm in LA, and Hollywood's right there.
Did the crowd at your theater just lose it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It was cacophonous often, and the speeches were really funny with with an audience with a crowd because there was a mic drop or a pin drop. It was one of the two. And Jane Fonda, I kept waiting to say something Jane Fonda. That was the only one where I was like,
She
And
wasn't
she
gonna
was
go
just
there.
lovely. She was just
Look,
nice.
she's been protesting all weekend. She's like, I
She just got out on your behavior. She was
She
just
said,
like,
I
and
said
I'm
what I
good.
had to say outside the, what is it, the Dolby now?
Yeah.
I said whatever I had to say outside the Dolby. There's no need for me to stand up on the stage. Renee and Joaquin and
They're
just,
gonna cover it.
You know, they got it. So I'm good. Speaking of which, how do you feel about those wins for Joaquin and Renee?
I mean, now every single Joker actor has an Oscar.
That's true.
Jack Nicholson had his, Jared Leto has his, and now Joaquin and
Great
Heath got them
point.
for
Heath
Joker.
Ledger, yep.
So all 4 of the cinematic Jokers have Oscars. 2 of them got them for the Joker, and Joker is Hamlet for this generation now.
Wow.
So I think it's a beautiful thing. I also in 06, I think it was, Brokeback and Walk the Line were up, and Joaquin and Heath became friends through the award circuit. So it felt really fitting that the next person to play this version of the Joker, not to disparage Mr. Leto, but in my opinion, this Joker was his friend. I think it's a really beautiful bit of kismet that we got this proper Joker.
And you guys, not for nothing, but don't we think, and this is just my personal opinion, but I personally think I only saw the Joker one time because I just couldn't handle multiple screenings of
Agreed.
that. But I believe that we never again in this lifetime will see an acting performance on screen like what Joaquin Phoenix gave in that movie, because he was bananas.
Transformed.
Absolutely.
Transformed.
Bananas.
Absolutely.
I've never in my entire life seen an acting performance like that. Ever.
For me, it was the Heath was the. I love that it's Joker because when I rewatched The Dark Knight, there's nothing like it, and it's been 12 years. Like when I see that, it's those 20 minutes of screen time feel like 4 hours of your life because it's so visceral and impacting. And then Joaquin got a full hour and 40 minutes to make you feel all of that negative emotion. Like you're nauseous, you're uncomfortable. Like you're saying, like I saw it 3 times because I'm a masochist, but I kept being like, I am so uncomfortable. Another. So it's a different experience. Like it's a hell of a movie because it's the worst time at the theater.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't go for good times.
No, well, there's that. But he
of us
became
do.
that's wrong. He became physically emaciated though.
Right.
Remember the scene where you see the back of him and it's just like, oh, okay, Joaquin, you went there, didn't you?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
physically.
He's one of my favorite actors, so I have been talking for years and pissed off that he still didn't win the Oscar for Walk the Line. So I'm like,
The
okay,
Master,
boom.
Walk the Line. Like when they said 4-time nominated, first win, I couldn't believe that was his first win. And Renee Zellweger, like I love her and I love her whole vibe. And I haven't actually seen Judy. Would you like
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I it was lovely. I mean, it was exactly what I wanted it to be, and I think Renee's in a really particular. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. I think she's in a particular position to really do that role justice. She's gone through so much. She's had such a trial in and of her own career. Bringing that to particularly Judy Garland, I think again we're not going to see anybody play that role that way ever, and that's why these roles are award winning. Both of them. We're never going to see those people, that caliber of person, doing those roles and bringing what they particularly bring. I think that was a gift, and we got to honor that tonight.
And I think the Oscars it was like comeback kid year. Like Joaquin Phoenix was.
That's a good way to look at it.
Joaquin Phoenix was putting gum under Letterman's desk, having his own time about being like a white rapper, like not long ago. Like
Right.
Joaquin was, and I love that documentary. I think it's funny. Like I got the joke, but like so many people didn't, and the dude was like ostracized. Like that guy wasn't working, and then like he got his comeback, and then Renee was gone for years, and then I hated that she came back with plastic surgery commentary because Renee is so much more than that. But like she made headlines because of like that
Yeah,
stuff, and that
but
was
that-
gross. Like that was indicative of the whole like society
Yeah.
problem. So
Yeah.
for her to get an Oscar after all that baloney on
Yeah.
air, like it's really cool that that these 2 comeback kids back to back, and then Brad Pitt. Like I love Brad Pitt's performance so much because it reminded what movie stars could be. Because Leonardo DiCaprio, without a doubt, movie star. But I watched a movie where I saw someone playing a movie star, and I kept wanting to know what a stunt double was doing. Because Brad Pitt's a goddamn movie star.
Let me tell you, and see that, boom. Brad Pitt is a movie star. Brad Pitt is a bona fide movie star, and this was his 7th nomination.
Wow.
7th nomination in his first win.
Unreal.
And you know, I'm personally just rooting for Brad Pitt because, you know, he a Missouri boy.
Yeah.
And I'm from Missouri,
Yes.
so, I mean, you know, there's
First win
that.
for Brad Pitt.
It's his first win.
Wild.
Yeah.
But he got 2 Oscars before for producing.
Yeah, I mean he's doing. I'm not
this is
worried
his-
about Brad Pitt.
I know. I didn't play. He's won something.
Yeah, this was his first acting Oscar, I should say. How are we feeling about Laura Dern for Best Supporting with Marriage Story?
Was
she was
that-
a slutty lawyer.
What a classy speech too. Like the
Oh,
shout out
man.
to her
Speech was
parents.
beautiful.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
And she was my I tweeted that was my big hopeful win because there was a lot that I expected. I really thought it was Joaquin's. I really thought I would have loved to have seen Matt Damon and Christian Bale lobby for supporting and lead instead. I think what hurt that film was that they both went for lead, so that was split the vote. Everyone that voted for Ford Ferrari had to split the vote, and it was like a Democratic primary.
Yeah, it was out.
So it caused a lot of problems with people actually voting for stuff. So it was messy. So it made that Ford Ferrari became a very different run. So
Right.
I really loved that we kind of had Joaquin in a very unique position. But Laura Dern was the one that I wasn't sure where was going to go because all of those performances were incredible. Not to disparage any of the actors, but like that was the dark horse for me.
No, so I'm gonna tell you this as a critic. So you don't know me. So as a critic, I've been to everything. Been to every show, voted on everything, and she has won across the board. And whenever you see somebody sweep like that, they're very rarely going to come to the Oscars and not win. The only time I ever saw that happen in recent years is when Sylvester Stallone was up against Mark Rylance, and everybody thought Sylvester Stallone was going to win because I was in the press room that night. Everybody thought that he was going to win, and everybody had typed up his name, and then they announced Mark Rylance, and there was an audible gasp in the room, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. What are they going to do when he walks in the room? Like nobody was prepared.
Questions.
Nobody was prepared to ask him a
yeah.
question. Nobody. How are we feeling about costume design for Jacqueline Duran for Little Women?
Like that speech, the whole vibe of that speech was great, but also she's just like 7 for 7. So she went up there with the eloquence of someone that's winning their 7th Academy Award,
Wow.
and then like absolutely carried that because Little Women is a movie we have had remade multiple times, so it has to be really special to merit a remake, and it absolutely was. Greta Gerwig, incredible. The cast, incredible. And you need the details like costume design. And there was no point in that movie I felt like I was not in the time that it was set. And it changes through periods in time, and it's so fanciful. Like Little Women's such an iconic piece of film. I think you got it. The bar's high. And I think obviously 7 Academy Awards later, like, she's doing all right.
One of my favorite things that won was Hair Love. It was the best animated short. Excuse me, and by Matthew Cherry. So Matthew A. Cherry is a former NFL player, which made me laugh out loud.
Wide receiver.
That he was a former NFL player that's making an animated movie about a dad trying to comb his daughter's hair. And when I interviewed him over the summer, I interviewed him and Peter Ramsey, who won the Oscar last year for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Both pictures are for Sony Pictures. When I interviewed them, I showed them a picture. I'll show y'all when we get done. I showed them a picture of my godfather and my dad trying to comb my hair. And my father has me like clamped in between his legs, and they're trying to comb my hair, and I'm looking like, please let me go. Just please let me go. But when I saw the movie, I was viscerally in tears because I could totally relate to what that was. And I was telling y'all in the trailer that Hair Love is not a movie that is about a black father trying to comb his black little girl's hair. This is a movie about anybody that is a dad that has a little girl that the mom is nowhere to be seen trying to comb their hair. Any dad could relate to that. And I think that's what most voters related to, and that's why it won the best documentary short. And then Toy Story 4 won the animated feature. I love Toy Story.
It was
I
so
love
good.
that. It was so good.
What was kind of cool about also with Hair Love is that, 2 years ago, Kobe Bryant won for the same category. It's another athlete producing film.
For Dear Basketball.
For Dear Basketball. And he shouted him out in his award speech. I really thought that was great and just really fitting.
I really like Hair Love because it's actually promoting the Crown Act, which is it's active in New York, Montgomery County, Maryland, which I'm from. I'm not from Montgomery County, but I'm from the county next to it in Maryland, New Jersey, and California, and it's to protect people from being discriminated based on their hair. Specifically, like Black women can relate to that, and I just think, like they said, representation matters, and not weaponizing our hair or making us feel less than because it's not the ideal form of beauty, and I think that's what's also beautiful about the film as well.
And he brought in the news the last couple of weeks, there was a young boy named DeAndre who they were telling him he needed to cut his locks off. And when Matthew Cherry got wind of that, he invited that young man to the Oscars. So he was his guest at the Oscars.
Holy
this
cow,
evening.
I didn't know that.
It was like a full circle moment.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see his press too, because that kid was just overwhelmed.
He was like, I'm on the red carpet. It was so cute. It was
I
adorable.
do want to shout out the people in our chat though.
Hey.
We've been getting a lot of comments. So Jazzy Jones said Hair Love winning during Black History Month.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Love that. I agree.
Strange.
Someone, her name is Yash I'm gonna mispronounce this. I'm sorry.
Srivastava?
Yes. She said, or he or she said that Brad Pitt was better in Ad Astra. which didn't really.
Got one
That
nod.
movie didn't hit, but he
Yeah.
was better
Yeah.
in Ad Astra. He was.
And she said, the same person said she thought that Joker was as compelling as Parasite. It's just the whole comic book Todd Phillips disdain. And that she thought Parasite and Joker were very similar.
And Joker ran away with 2. It got score and performance.
Yes, best lead actor. And then we were talking about Ford versus Ferrari. They got sound editing and film editing appropriately so.
Love that movie.
I love that movie too, and I'm kind of salty that they don't ever recognize Christian Bale. They always diss him. I don't know what that's about, but
That was, I think, that's splitting the vote thing, because Christian Bale is incredible in that movie. Like,
Yeah,
10
he
Miles,
is.
he embodied, and you felt every moment of that character. And also, the power of Christian Bale is he's, like, downright jolly. And the dude always plays roles that are, like, this
Dark.
super intense, visceral. Like, he went from, like, he's Santa in life, and in movies he's Batman. And it's incredible to see the transformation, because he always plays a different chameleon. You've seen this guy, like, over the years play all these things, and it was in a movie like Ford vs. Ferrari, which could have been it wasn't just a dad movie. Like, when that movie got announced, I was like, Dad's gonna love this on Sunday. And then it came out, and it was the best dad movie, and that was my vote for Best Picture. I get why it didn't win, but I was really moved by the movie, because it could have been much simpler, much less impactful, and it felt like American cinema. James Mangold just feels like this classic Americana director, where you watch a movie, within opening frames, I was like, this is a classic American film, hard stop. And then the movie kept getting better. So that movie is really important to me, and I'm bummed the way things landed, but it got nommed, so I'm happy. People are going to see it now.
Right.
I think they did a really good job overall with spreading the wealth and the love for almost everything that got nominated, so that all of the films are coming to the attention of the American people that don't necessarily live in the lane of having to watch movies for a living or whatever, and they only know about these films when people start talking about them at award season. So they did a really good job about spreading the wealth, because Once Upon a Time got production design, so that was cool. And then let's see what else. Learning to skateboard in a war zone if you're a girl. Won. That was a good win.
I think that
for
was the
them.
favorite, yeah.
That was the favorite one. It was winning everywhere, so it was like it wasn't not gonna win. But then the one that I love that won was this best documentary feature called American Factory, and I love it because former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama are the producers of that film. So I'm like, all right, y'all come in Hollywood,
Yeah,
okay?
Obama's got Oscars now?
Did you think it was kind of weird that they didn't mention them in their speech, like
Yeah.
Michelle or Barack?
They've mentioned them five zillion times everywhere else. They've mentioned them a million times every place else.
Got it.
They were at the Spirit Awards. They talked about the Obamas for like 5 minutes at the Spirit Awards on Saturday. So I'm sure they ain't feeling some
And
kind
Obama
of
did.
way.
I think he tweeted about it. He was just congratulating them on Twitter right after the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Bombshell. Now we knew that was gonna get hair and makeup. Didn't we know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Come
that's
on,
no
Charlize
surprise.
Theron
Had
is
to.
Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
She looks
Look,
so much like her.
There were times I was
Scary.
looking at the
It's
screen
scary.
and I thought,
That's
is
her.
that Megyn Kelly?
That's
Did
right.
they like slide her up in there?
Do we know how long she was in hair and makeup?
That I don't know, but
Don't
I
have the
think
numbers.
I would imagine it would be quite some period of time. And I remember seeing an interview with Charlize Theron where she talked about how she jacked up her vocal cords trying to get Megyn Kelly's voice down, because Charlize Theron's voice isn't low like mine is, and it's not high pitched either. It's somewhere in the middle, and she had to get like down in the basement, almost baritone, to grab Megyn Kelly's voice, because Megyn Kelly has a very deep rich tone to her voice. So yeah, I was really happy to see that Kazu Haru got that. Best original score went to Joker.
Which that score, like, it is so... A part of the reason you feel so uncomfortable watching it is that score gets under your skin and it kind of rots you. And one of my favorite moments in the movie was improv. Like, the dance sequence was because Joaquin heard that score in the moment, and it was going to be a more cliche, like, man in the mirror, this kind of film does that a lot. And instead, that entire physicality came from the score, and that interpreted his Joker throughout the rest of the film. That changed the entire film. So if you're ever going to give a score award, it's the one that changed the movie that went on to the lead actor role. Like, that tied very much into each other. And if you listen to that score without the movie, you are just as uncomfortable.
Well, what a genuine speech, too. Like,
Right.
she was
Darling.
just so
Her
honored to be
speech
there.
was thebomb.com.
Yeah.
Her and Laura Dern had the best speeches of the night, I felt.
Yeah, I
the
love
most
it.
heartfelt speeches. Best original song went to Elton John. And I had said this before, Elton John, the Academy loves Elton John.
Yeah.
They just love him. So I was personally rooting for stand up and Cynthia Erivo to get that EGOT, but
Yeah.
she'll get it sooner or later. And then we had Jojo Rabbit get adapted screenplay.
I'm loving that. That was one of my favorite movies of the year. I don't understand a lot of the hate I was kind of getting recently, but I just thought, wow, okay, awesome. We got the writing recognition. Taika is an Academy Award winner. I
He's
love him
crazy
so
as
much
hell.
right now. Oh, yeah. And I mean, just shouting out his parents and for giving him the book when he was a kid. I just think, any love towards that movie, I'm going to praise.
Did you see the shot of him like hiding his Academy Award under the seat in front of him?
No.
Like there's like a fan cam and like he was like shiftily like tucking it under because he's just so quick and funny.
He is crazy.
Yeah.
Every award show that I saw him at, he was just off kilter. Like you just want to go off in a corner and party with that dude.
Yeah.
He was so much fun.
He seems like a good time.
So much
One of
fun.
my favorite moments actually happened like off screen. Elton John is Eminem's sponsor, and he's kept him sober since Stan.
Oh wow.
So
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Elton John literally helps Em.
Didn't
and
know that.
They talk constantly. They're really good friends, and it's a beautiful friendship that I love. And they were both performing, so there's a
Wow.
shot of them backstage together talking, and like that, just the knowledge of that just makes me so happy to know that like. What's that year like? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
talking Kamikaze and Rocket Man? Like, how did that go? Like, he's like, oh, I got this crazy new album out. Like, I can't even imagine what that was like at the Oscars, because there's no two more different people that to help each other out than Elton John and Eminem.
Completely.
That is bananas. What kind of stats do we have from tonight? Do we know?
I mean, well, the second thing is Roger Deakins. This is his second win, 15th nom. You'd think he'd win a little bit more, but absolutely one of the best cinematographers of our time. His first one was Blade Runner. And
Yeah,
that was
recently.
so overdue. Yeah. So this is just his second win. And I mean, the film was all like one shot. So it was pretty amazing. That's pretty remarkable. First, all foreign language film to win Best Picture. Obviously, like the huge statistic of the night. Like you said, Joaquin, first win, been nominated 4 times before. You'd think like he's one of those big actors in the pantheon of amazing performers that you just thought, oh yeah, of course he has one. He didn't already.
Wow.
That's also not Leo. Because it became a
That's
joke.
not Leo,
Like,
yeah.
it became a joke that Leo didn't have an Oscar. I felt like a lot of people in the room were like, Joaquin doesn't? Like, it's neither pop culture knowledge or not. We're all like, wait a second, that just sounds wrong. Did they announce that?
No,
Look,
entirely,
I knew Joaquin
yeah.
didn't have an Oscar because I'm a fan, and I'm like I said, I was still walking around my jaws tight about Walk the Line, so I'm just saying.
But
And his speech was solid. Like, I liked Joaquin's speech a lot.
I wanted to
Yeah.
say though, did you? And I'm curious, even when you're with the live crowd, after Parasite won Best Picture, and they're doing the speeches, and they start to turn the lights out.
Yes.
For
Dude.
Best Picture.
That's what someone said in the chat. They said, Charlie Magbanua said, how did they cut off the award for Bombshell and cut to... Never mind.
Yeah, they cut off the bombshell.
Yeah.
They turned the lights
acceptance,
off on
To
him.
Margot Robbie.
and then they try to do it again with Parasite,
Yeah.
but everyone in the crowd goes, "Put them up!" What a magical moment for an award
That
show.
actually was a magical moment when the
Incredible.
whole audience was like, put him up. I'm like,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks is like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
Tom
win.
Hanks in the
Everybody
front.
go
Just,
in.
that's the gift we all need, though. Like, anytime you're
Yeah.
feeling down, just Tom Hanks telling you to put him up. Just like, lift up, y'all. There it is. Like, also the gifts of every single person when Eminem's rapping being like, I don't know how to react to this. I cannot wait to see all of that stuff. Like, we got some gold for the internet tomorrow.
Oh my God. Do we have any final thoughts about the Oscars? I think we covered a lot of it,
Yeah.
though.
Did you have a favorite moment?
I have to, like, him, Joaquin talking about his brother.
Yeah.
Was really moving and I think really impactful. Laura Dern's speech was incredible. I'm a giant Eminem fan and stan. So the moment of pure confusion when they kept cutting to Eminem footage in 8 Mile and he's just walking. They kept showing footage of other songs and then it was just like, why is Marshall Mathers in a tank top walking? And then he comes up on stage and I was like, is this happening?
All
and then
three of
everyone
us.
else in the audience was like, is this happening? And they didn't stop with that face for the entire performance. Like they kept cutting to people being like, this is
Right.
happening?
It was pretty amazing.
It
We were
was-
all freaking out.
We
Yeah.
talked about that.
Incredulous.
We talked about that moment, too.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I know we didn't talk about fashion that much, but I did love the fact that Spike Lee paid homage to
The Kobe
Kobe Bryant.
Mm.
with
Great call.
The colors and his number, that was really beautiful as well.
Kelly Marie Tran said more lines in this than she did in Star Wars, so I liked that they gave Kelly Marie
Yeah.
Tran some time to shine.
They
can't stand you,
absolutely
Cole.
did. They absolutely gave her more lines. Although I thought she was going to present. It's weird. They kept doing that this year, where they'd have someone announce the presenter, and
Yeah.
then the presenter would come off.
We don't have time for a host. Let's have people talk about each other.
Right.
You know,
Little
I'm kind of digging the no host thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like it.
It moves. It seems to move a little better
And it's
without
already
a
a long
host.
ceremony.
Because when the host is up there, they're cracking jokes. Sometimes the jokes are just funny to them. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good with that. Just keep that the way that it is. And plus, the network is saving goo gobs of money, so there's that. So we have less than a minute left, you guys. So let's tell everybody. Thank y'all for having this conversation. It went fast.
Yeah, we flew by.
This was a nice, invigorated, excited conversation about all the winners, and congratulations to all of the Oscar winners this year for the 2020 92nd Annual Academy Awards. So, having said that, where can we find you, Coy?
On Twitter and Instagram at CoyJandro. I used to be here all the time, so people might know me from that. And YouTube and all over the internet. Screen Junkies, Nerdist, Collider, everywhere.
And you, Miss Diva?
I am at Lady Lishi, Instagram mostly. I'm a dancer and fire performer and all sorts of fun stuff. So, I put up entertaining stuff to look at.
Love it.
Simone?
You guys can find me at Simone A. Thomas on Instagram and Twitter.
You guys can find me at Ryan Nilsson on Instagram. Shout out to Parasite. Parasite won Best Picture. Holy crap!
And I am Carla Renata, a.k.a. The Curvy Film Critic. You can find me at Black Hollywood Live with The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata on Black Hollywood Live on Sundays at 5 o'clock. You can find me right back here at AfterBuzz TV with the General Hospital After Show. You can find me on Thursday nights on NBC at Superstore with America Ferrera. And you can find all of my reviews either on thecurvyfilmcritic.com, Rotten Tomatoes, or in Variety. So having said that, thank you so much for joining us for the 92nd Annual Academy Awards After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. Have a great evening, and we will see you next year at the Oscars. Bye.
Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.